and welcome back to episode 45 of my knitting podcast. Welcome back to my knitting podcast. Thank you so much for joining me today. Apologies, my voice is not the best today. I'm gonna try my best. I've got tea here and a glass of water, and I'm gonna try to get through this massive cup of tea. It's still too hot. That's what happens to me. I make myself a cup of tea, wait until it's cold, and then it's too cold to drink it. So I'm gonna try my best to drink tea in between. And yeah, I'm a little bit under the weather. I've had a pretty bad cold over the last days, but I'm slightly feeling better now, and I will just try to get through it. Yeah, I just have a bit of time, and I thought I'd show you my last finished objects and some stuff that I've been working on. I have been really productive over the last weeks. Not only because I have been sick over the last few days, but also because I stopped doing all the things that I was doing in the summer, and now I've got a little bit more time to do the things that to knit basically. I mentioned in my last episode that I was just before a big race, a running competition. It's not really a competition because I was doing it for myself, but I did actually at the end run the Reykjavik Marathon, which I'm very proud of. It is. Got my medal here. It's my first full marathon that I run, so that's 42 point something kilometers, and then 26 miles or something. So first full one, and then I did one half marathon this year, and then 2 last year. So really proud that I managed to finish the full one. I didn't know whether I was going to, because as I mentioned earlier, I was training for it, but then I went on holidays, and on a sailing boat you can't really do much of running training. So I just took it very easy regarding the training plan, and then when I came back I was like, okay, actually if I really want to do it, I have to start running. And then I was working a lot, so yeah, I didn't follow the training plan completely, but I have been running the last years very consistently over the summertime. So I was running quite long runs already, and then I just thought, okay, you know what, I'll try to just finish it and see how it goes. I'm not going to put myself any time goal, and it's all about finishing, and it went quite well. The time is not amazing, but I was feeling quite okay mostly throughout most of the run. I only started feeling quite tired when it was coming to 38 kilometers or something. And I think at 35 kilometers I once stopped to get a glass of water, and that was not a good idea, because once I stopped I found it really hard to start running again. But the funny thing is, actually I might as well tell you now, when I was running, I just finished about 20 kilometers or something, and then basically the group separate. So you have one group that is running 21 kilometers, and then the other, so that's half marathon, and then the people who are running a full marathon take off a turn to the left, and then we were running for a neighborhood, and I was looking where I was running, and then I was on the street and there were like people sitting in front of the house and I was like, oh, they're knitting. And I looked closer and it was Stephen West. So I had to stop. And I was like, oh, Stephen, I'm a knitter too. And I stopped, took a quick picture, and then continued running. So at least I lost probably 2 minutes there. But that was a really fun coincidence. It made me giggle for quite a while. Yeah, so that's a cool running memory, running memory from the Reykjavik Marathon this summer. Yeah, really enjoyed it. The day after, I thought like, actually the same day, I was like, why would you do that to yourself? I was feeling quite poorly, like quite exhausted over the day. And then the next day, I was actually quite surprised, didn't have too much muscle pain and stuff, so I already started having a look where I could run my next marathon. And I think I'm gonna make a thing out of it. I'm thinking of choosing a race somewhere else and going for like a little trip or something, so that might be another goal for next year. This year I'm gonna take it easy, just running for fun now, which is also nice because now I have more time to knit. Alright, that was quite a bit of running shit. Sorry, that came right at the beginning, but let's head into knitting. Okay, my first finished object, you can see it already. This is the Forever Ribbed dress by Ann-Kathrin Stoll. And it is a full ribbed dress. I'm gonna stand up just so you can see it, and then I'm probably gonna try to include a picture that I haven't taken yet. So just so you can see it, it's ribbed all the way, and I absolutely love it. It's been the longest project this year, I think. So this has been on my needles for quite a while. I was participating in a test and I couldn't start immediately because I was waiting for the yarn, and because I live in Iceland and I had to like kind of organize where to get it. It took me some time to get it, and then I took the yarn with me on the summer vacation. I mentioned in my previous podcast, I think 2 episodes ago, that I went sailing with my partner. And I thought I would have a lot of knitting time, but in the end I actually didn't, because sailing is quite hands-on and you like have to do lots of things. So I didn't get much knitting time, and it took me some time to finish it. So I didn't manage to finish it just in time of the test knit. However, I am so happy with the result, and I can totally recommend this dress. It's fitting so well. One thing that I'm really happy about, because initially I thought like, oh, it's quite narrow here, but because there's some I-code finishings here, it kind of like pulls the fabric a little bit to the side, so you're covering your bra straps, and I can actually wear it with just a normal bra. I just have to put the straps a little bit more, like wear them a little bit more like inwards, so I can't really wear them on the shoulders like I would normally, but if I just pull them in a little bit, you cannot see them, and I quite like that, because I always feel like if you can wear just like your normal bras with it, so you don't see the straps, I will probably wear it more often. It's got like this little bit of a ribbed neckband, and the finishings of this dress are actually really nice. It's you would not, like if you look at it, you wouldn't think that it's hand knit, and that makes me quite proud, because that's always kind of my goal. I kind of like knitting my wardrobe, and I like when people wouldn't think that I had knitted it myself. Oh god, I hope that was grammatically correct. But yeah, so this is the Forever Ribbed dress by Ann-Kathrin Stoll, and I just gonna pick up the yarn that I used. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit in a mess today. Alright, there we are. So this is, apologies, I said it last time, but I took, I think I had 10 balls of that yarn, and I took them all on my sailing trip, packed them in like a big backpack, like cramped them in, and so the labels are a little bit damaged. But this is the Lamana Verona. It's a mix between 50% wool, 30% silk and 20% cashmere. It feels absolutely amazing. The stitch definition is beautiful. It has this beautiful little bit of a shine. I think that's from the silk, as I said before. And this is the color 64. I'm pretty sure it's called Sage. Absolutely, I love this color. I think it's so beautiful, so versatile. You can wear it in summer, but you can also like easily wear this in winter with maybe like some brown accessories. I was thinking of maybe styling this with some brown half boots. I bought some like kind of like a little bit of like cowboy style kind of boots, and I was thinking of wearing it with that, and maybe just like a blazer or like a long coat, maybe with like a brown tights, just to make it a little bit less, make the contrast less harsh. So yeah, definitely gonna try that out, and maybe show you some pictures on Instagram once I've done it. But this one has been like the project of the summer, and I'm so happy it's finished because it was quite a lot of work, but I'm also super happy with the result. Can totally recommend the pattern as well. It's very easy to follow. It's not too complicated, honestly. It's just a 2x2 rib, and then there's like some waist shaping. The waist shaping works really well, honestly. It makes your body look really nice, and then it has like a slit on the side. I didn't make it too long, the slit. I could have probably made it a little bit higher in hindsight, but it's fine. Like, I wouldn't rip it back for that. Yeah, I followed the pattern pretty much exactly. Maybe I made it a few centimeters longer, but yeah, I think, yeah, that was it. And just to be completely clear, I got the yarn sponsored for the test knit, so Lamana kindly sent me the yarn. Thank you very much. And I'm not telling you that it is amazing because I got it for free, but because I really think it is beautiful. And the people who have seen it, I haven't worn it out yet, but I've shown it to some friends, and my partner has seen it, and he keeps on saying like, oh, like last weekend we were going out, and he was like, oh yeah, you gotta wear it. And I'm like, I'm not too sure, like I don't want to ruin it, so haven't worn it out yet, but definitely will do. But I first have to take some nice pictures, so that's on the to-do list, and then I will wear it out. Love it. Please have a look at the pattern. There also is a top version, so if you're not really keen on knitting the whole thing, there's also a forever rib top, I think it's the name, that you can knit, and that's a different pattern, so you don't have to buy the full dress pattern, and that is actually really beautiful as well. I would really knit that again because I think the fit is so beautiful, and you could like wear it like under blazer in the winter, and then in the summer you can just wear it as a shorts or like a skirt or something. Yeah. Off to the next finished object. So my next finished object is the tonight top, and that is a design by my friend Lily Kate France, or Lily Kate Makes on Instagram. And I've shown you this one in the last episode. I'm not quite sure. I think I had only done the part of the body, but I finished this one last week, I think. And I really love this one. It looks beautiful put on, but I haven't taken any pictures yet. You see, there's a scheme. I haven't taken pictures lately because I was busy, but I was not busy enough to knit. So there you go. This is blocked and finished and just needs some pictures taken. Has these beautiful little details here on the side. I actually realized last time that you could see them quite well. So this is like a pearl and knit little detail on the sides, like a little side seam, and it has these beautiful double knit what are they called, armhole edgings, which take a bit of time to knit, but they're totally worth it. And there's like even some short rows included to make them lay flat, and that makes the difference. So as always, Lily's patterns are like very detailed without being too much, but I like the nice finishings. Yeah, 2x2 rib for the neck and the hem. And yeah, this will be just a wardrobe staple, I think. I can wear that like dressed up with like a nice skirt or and boots. I could also just wear it with a pair of jeans. I used the Yarn Art Baby Cotton. I showed you this one in the last episode. This is the cheap yarn that I bought in the UK, and which I bought quite a lot of yarn for like summer tops. And this is the black one here. Unfortunately, I find that the black is the only color that doesn't really shine that much. It is a little bit matte. And I'm thinking I want to knit this one again, but maybe in a more luxurious yarn. I know that Kelly, she knit this one out of some beautiful Lamana yarn. Let me just grab the catalogue. I have it here. I'm gonna have a look at it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she used the Lamana Como. And I'm just seeing that they have the Lamana Como Cashmere, which is 70% merino and 30% cashmere. And I could totally see myself knitting one in maybe like a copper color, or there's like a red, like a really nice orange red carmine. Could see that as well. Yeah, I knitted this one after I saw Åsa Makes. She made a nice dark grey one, like an anthracite color, and after I saw hers I was like, okay, I really want to make one. And I know that Kelly from Coco Knits did the same, so she made this really beautiful dark grey one. And as I'm more of a little bit of a more warm colored person, I'm thinking maybe I should make another one in this carmine. I say carmine, is it maybe just camine? Like, I don't know. It's probably camine because all the other names are German, so which means like fireplace. So yeah, probably gonna make that in this kind of color. I think it's so beautiful. So yeah, can recommend the Lamania that I've tried so far, and from what I hear from Kelly, who uses Lamana yarns a lot, she's very happy with the quality, so I might give it a go. But yeah, onto my plans a bit later. Alright, so this was the second finished object, the tonight top. I love the fit, honestly, and I always knit size 2 in Lily's patterns, nearly always I think, because I'm usually between 2 and 3 between the sizes, and she usually tells me to size down in her patterns. So if you're between 2 sizes, I think most of the time she recommends to size down, but she usually tells you, I think, in the pattern as well. I hope I'm not lying there. Just for reference, like I'm a bust size 36 inch, I think, which is roughly 90 centimeters. The next finished object that I want to talk about is one that I don't have with me. So actually the next 2 ones I don't have with me, but the first one is, are the Lily Kate Make Finest Fit socks. This is a pair of socks that I made for a family member, and I used some beautiful yarn. So this is like a pattern that Lily just recently released. It has like some stripes, or she designed it in stripes, but you can obviously just knit it in plain colors as well. And if you knit it in stripes, because it is knit in with a short roll heel, she gives you an instruction to so you can actually knit the stripes matching, so that the stripes don't get bigger and smaller. So I would totally, like, if you want to knit short row heels, like a short row heel sock, and you want to knit stripes, definitely have a look at her design, because like otherwise you will just get like bigger and smaller stripes. I used some special edition yarn. This is the from the Elements box from Explorer Knits and Fibers, I think that's what they're called. And that was like the Air box, so I ordered that a long time ago, and so this is like really light blue. It doesn't look much on this in this light, but the socks actually came out quite nice. And I used like a sock mini as a contrasting heel, Actually, no, not contrasting heel. I used it as a contrasting cuff and maybe toe, I can't quite remember. So this is from the Wool Barn, like from a sock mini set. I just chose the color that I thought fitted the best from this one. Yeah, that's what I usually do. If just to give it a little bit of an interest. And this sock is actually just like quite a basic pattern, so it's just a simple sock, but it fits really well around the heel. And I've tried it on myself. Okay, I didn't make my size. I made a size 40. I made a size 41, so they were way too big for me. But I tried them on around the heel and they actually fitted really well. So I think I'm gonna make them again, maybe with the leftover sock, or I have some other sock yarn that I wanna make socks for myself. So I might try that one for myself as well. Yeah. I loved how they came out, and I can also recommend the pattern, obviously. It's a good staple for your pattern library, I would say. The next one is another test knit. So I did quite a few test knits lately, and I've got another test knit here hanging here, but one test knit that I actually managed to finish in time. And that was just a very small one. So I managed to squeeze in a little test knit for Anina Yuti from Annie Yuti Knits. She redesigned her Rusko beanie, and she designed it in DK weight yarn initially, and then published it in fingering weight yarn. And she offers quite a lot of different sizes. It's like a fairly simple pattern, like a basic pattern, but with a really good fit. And I made a baby hat. So I had some leftover blue variegated hand dyed yarn, and I needed a little present. And when I saw her test color, I was like, oh, actually that works perfectly. So I made a little beanie. At the end, I will insert a picture and added a little label, made with love. And yeah, that's already been gone to the recipient, but it came out really beautiful. Unfortunately, I can't show you a picture where the baby's wearing it, because obviously it's not my baby. I have no right to show other people's babies here. But yeah, I'm sure it fits perfectly. Haven't seen it myself, but it looked really nice, and it was quite big considering, and that's what you want, because baby hats are actually quite big. So yeah, I made the baby version, which was the second size, so you can have newborn and then baby. And for the second size I used just 27 grams of yarn, so yeah, still have plenty of leftover. But happy with the result. I can totally recommend the pattern if you're after a stockinette hat with a ribbed brim, and because it comes in so many sizes, it's really handy just to have it in your library as well. Last but not least, I have a finished object, and that is part of my Free Your Needles Cull 2024. So I don't know if you remember, but I did start this cull at the beginning of the year, trying to minimize my whips, which has worked actually quite well, I have to say. I have finished quite a few long-term whips, and this one is definitely one of the very long-term whips that I finally finished. And these are the Pepita mittens, and they're by Jojo Sandin or Sandin. Apologies for butchering the name. And they're these beautiful colorwork mittens that were on my needles for over 2 years, I think. Or maybe just 2 years, but long enough. I bought the yarn when we went on a winter vacation. We drove up north in Iceland, went to a town, I would say. I think it's the second biggest town here. So we have Reykjavik. I might be lying about the size, but it's the biggest town in the north. It's called Akureyri, and absolutely beautiful. If you have the chance to travel around Iceland, I would definitely recommend driving up north. And we always love to drive to Akureyri, and we stayed there in a like a summer house, obviously in winter, so it's like a cabin. And I really wanted to buy some yarn there, and then there's a really nice little yarn shop in the town, and I went and had a look, and I found this yarn from Filcolana. So this is a Filcolana Penia in the color Chinese red and charcoal, and I wanted to make some mittens that go with my work clothes. So here we are. Finally finished it. It took me so long because these were quite hard to knit on the hands, honestly. As much as I love color work, this was definitely a stretch for my patience. They came out quite well, however, so I can show you, I just put them on. So they fit quite okay. However, these are like these kind of like traditional, trying to do traditional traditional patterns, and they don't really have like a I think you would call it a gusset, but like they don't give the thumb any room. So basically the thumb is just like this little flap, so you put in some you knit a few stitches with like a different thread, and then like pick up the stitches, open it, and then just like knit this flat tube. So there's no room here for like the thumb, and obviously your thumb is not like below your hand like that, but it has actually like there's quite a little bit more to it. So it's not an amazing fit, and they're a little bit tight as well. I don't think I got gauge. I never measured, I think. I just went for the yarn and then tried a needle size up, but then it was getting too holey, so it kind of needed 3mm needles, and so that's what we have. 2 mittens. I mean, they're okay. I will use them. They look very beautiful. Would I knit them again? No. Sorry. The fit is just not good enough. And honestly, I don't wear mittens that much. I'll see. It's cold now, so I'll probably start wearing them now after showing them to you. But I think they look really nice. So, something to be proud of. Not sure how they're gonna wear. I feel like this yarn might pill a fair bit, but maybe the color work helps. I don't know. I'll report back. But really happy that they're finished, because they were way too long in my project bag and they needed to be done with. I was ready to either finish it or just rip them back. So happy I managed to finish them, and happy that the color work blocked out so nicely, so they're actually looking quite neat. Yeah, so these are all my finished objects. I'm gonna treat myself to a bit of tea, maybe take a breather. And then I'm gonna talk about my whips. Alright, first whip. It's one that's almost finished. And it's been almost finished for a while, because it's part of my free needles cull. Absolutely, this has been on my needles for way too long. And this is the Collective Shawl by Jochi Locatelli. And she is running her Jochi Fall Knit Along. This is definitely not the right name, I think, but like Jochi Locatelli always runs a knit along in autumn, and it starts in the beginning of September, and you have to like sign up for it beforehand. She has like some categories that you can like basically just jump in, and this is one of the categories. Basically in September she's trying to like motivate you to finish a whip, and that's what I'm doing. So I have this collective shawl. It was on my needles for over 2 years now, or maybe 2 years, and I ran out of the main yarn, but it was too short, So I ordered some new yarn and then never continued knitting on it. But to be honest, I mean, it's almost done. It just needs maybe a few more repeats and then I can actually wear it. So I'm gonna try to make that one of my priorities for the next weeks. Maybe for the next week only. Like yesterday, for example, I knitted this one. And I think I want to knit at least 3 more sections. So I could knit 1 section per day. So that's another 4 days maybe, and then it might be already long enough. As you can see, I mixed some colors in here, and these are all Holds Super Soft. I ordered I think it's like a sample pack of them. So I ordered the main color for that was supposed to be for the West Knits M-Col 2 years ago. But then I didn't like it as a contrast color. I kept the yarn because it was too complicated to send it back. And then I had ordered in the same order, I think, a sample bag for greens. And I got sent these ones. I think there's some more in the bag somewhere in my stash. But these were some of the colors that they sent me. And I basically made a fade out of it. And I think it's actually quite cute. This is quite blue leaning, but it works quite well. And I think I will wear this a lot once I finished knitting it. I'm looking forward for it to be like blocked and see how it blooms up, because I know it does bloom a fair bit. When I first knit with the Hold Super Soft, I knitted on quite small needles. And I kind of regret it. I wish I would have knitted it a little bit bigger needles because it went a little bit stiff. So I'm looking forward to see how this one is gonna feel once I blocked it. Jorge recommends needle size 3.5 millimeters. And when I picked it up 2 days ago, I just remembered I went up a needle size, but I didn't know which size I went up to, whether I went up to 3.75 or up to 4 millimeters. So I went back into my pictures from on my phone and had a quick check on all the pictures that I took, and I found on one of the pictures I found like a kind of like a picture where I could see that what was written on the needle, not the sheet needle size, but the knitting needles from Knitter's Prize always come with like some names on it, and this one said Dream. And I know that Dream is number 4, so 4 millimeters. So yeah, continued knitting with this one and it's working quite well. So I'm pretty sure it's the right needle size. Wasn't 100% sure, but from now on I'm gonna be better on Ravelry and like categorize them a little bit better. But yeah, just trying to finish this one. I think this will be finished very soon. I'm looking forward to having this one for autumn because I think it's gonna be quite cute to wear it with a scarf. To wear it with a brown coat or something. But it needs to be slightly longer, so I'm going to be working on this one. So this is my first work in progress, and of course an entrance for my Free Needles call that I'm running at the moment. So I'm trying to encourage myself, and of course you as well, if you want to join, to finish some of your whips. I try to pick a whip every month, but I kind of stalled over the summer, but now I'm trying to get back into it. To finish at least 1 whip per month. And this is my whip for September. So my next work in progress is a test knit for, again, Lily Kate France, or Lily Kate Makes. And this is the On the Dot sweater. It's her newest design, or maybe not. I think she's already designing something else now. Yeah, she designed like a really nice chunky sweater, but this one is her colorwork design that she's going to publish next month, and this one is my version. So I'm about halfway done, a little bit more. I've done all the yoke and I just need to knit the sleeves and just finish the body. It's growing really quickly because I'm knitting this one on 4.5 millimeter needles. I knit the yoke on 5 millimeters. I did a gauge swatch, quite a big one, I'm going to show you in a second. But it turns out that my color work was a little bit tighter than the normal stockinette stitch, so I'm hoping that this will match well. I do have some yarn stoppers here, or needle stoppers here. It's like a tube where you can put your needles in, and this is not only to avoid that you lose your stitches, but also to protect your needles, especially with these metal ones. If you sit on them, it can hurt, so I usually put them in here if I remember, and then they are safe, but they're making a horrible noise, so I'm going to take them out now. Yeah, and this is a round yoke design. What else can I tell you about it? Yeah, the yarn. Let me pick up. So the yarn is a onion knit yarn. Now, where's the label? I do have a label here, there we go. It's an onion knit mohair and wool. And so basically this yarn is trying to replicate the same effect that you have when you take one strand of fingering weight yarn held with silk mohair. And I do have to say I quite like it. It is quite hard to knit I found it a little bit harder to knit the color work with it, because I'm used to like knitting color work with like more grippier yarn. So I found it a little bit harder to get the tension right, and you can definitely see it's not super even. But from my swatches, I know that this will even out, so that's not a problem. I'm not like worried that it's gonna look crap in the long run. I just know that I have to be patient and just go with the flow, and it will be looking perfect once it's finished. I do love the look, and I feel like this is giving me such like fall vibes now. The color is just like perfect, very similar to the colors that we can see now, like the last weeks. And I have tried on her sample when it was knit basically to the same length, and I loved it, and that's why when I saw that she was looking for test knitters, I knew that I had to apply. Here I can show you how I knit my my swatches if I want to knit in the round. So what I did is I almost knit a sleeve, which is good to know, because now I know that I will have enough yarn for both sleeves, because I only have 2 balls left, but that will be enough. Basically I started knitting on a smaller size needle and figured out very quickly that this was going to be too tight. I knit the color work in the same size just to see how it works, and then I went up a needle size, and what I did is I made little notes here, like I did 4 purl bumps, that was for 4 millimeters, I had 4 purl bumps and the yarn over, that's for 4.5 millimeters. And then I went up to 5 millimeters. The 5 millimeters, the plain was too loose, but the color work actually worked quite well. So I went for the 5 millimeter color work and then the 4.5 millimeter stockinette stitch, and I think that will look quite nice. As you can see now in comparison, so this is not blocked, so the stitches are all a little bit like, they're not like super even, but in comparison, there you go, that's the blocked sample, and you can see this will even out super nicely. So I'm actually super excited to finish this one and just put it in the water, because I know that the stitches will relax and it will look super neat. So looking forward to that. Whilst knitting, this one does shed a fair bit, so yeah, you might not want to knit this like with like black jeans or something, but I think once it's washed, it will stop shedding that much. At least I feel like this one is not as bad as when I'm knitting with it out of the ball. Now that I've shown you the sample, or the swatch, I can actually unravel it and then use it for the sleeves, which I'm looking forward to, because I have been wanting to unravel it, but I kind of wanted to show you how I do my swatches, just so you can see, because like you kind of really want to make a swatch that's big enough, and you kind of want to knit it as well in the same way that you're intending to knit your sweater, and that's especially important if you're knitting in the round. You should be knitting the swatch as well in the round. If you're knitting a cardigan, you're knitting back and forth anyways, then it's absolutely fine. But I'm a total fan of knitting the swatch in the same way you're going to be knitting the rest of the sweater or the garment that you're intending to knit. So this is a nice work in progress. This will be done, I think, in the next week, because this is flying off my needles, and the sleeves will be going even quicker. I mean, I did knit the swatch in like 1 day, so not worried about finishing this one in time. I do have another whip on my needles. It's a pair of socks that I'm knitting for a family member. It's just a plain vanilla sock in 3x1 ribbing. Maybe it's 2x2. No, it's 2x2 ribbing. But the colors are not really beautiful. Like, they're some soccer socks. So I'll show you the finished object in the next podcast. I don't think they're really worth showing off now. So these are all my whips. As you can see, I'm just working on 3 whips at the moment, and that's totally to just finish the collector shawl within September, and also to finish the test knits before the deadline, which is, I think, at the beginning of October. So I still got plenty of time. I did buy a little bit of yarn, but nothing too exciting. Just in my last episode I showed you that I didn't quite like the white tone that I bought in for like a striped top, so I bought a different color tone, but not really worth showing. However, I got a really nice shipment from Ivana, and Ivana is a friend of mine. She's a podcast as well. She's based in Cyprus, and her handle on Instagram, now I don't want to get it wrong, so I'm gonna quickly check. It's called The Republic of Me. There we go. And she recently started making stitch markers. So I ordered, I think 2. I ordered a project, like a project process. What are they called? You know, one with a clip? I think I'm gonna show you. I'm just gonna show you. So I ordered this one, which is so beautiful. And then I also ordered some stitch markers, and then she sent me a few more. So I thought that this would be the perfect opportunity to give them away as part of the Free Needles call. So she sent me this one as well, which is a really nice big one. And then show you what else she sent me. It's like getting off the tension. So, oh, these are so beautiful. They're like little stitch markers, and there's one more. I'm pretty sure I chose these ones. There we go. It's so cute. So I'm gonna be giving away 2 of them. So the ones that I didn't order, that she gave me as a present. So she didn't ask me to mention her at all or something, but I'm just happy to share the joy. So I will put them to the prices for the Free Needles Cull 2024. And because we're almost we're over halfway through the year, I think I'm just gonna do the prizes at the end of the year. So if you want to participate, just use the hashtag on Instagram, and you can also use them on Ravelry, and I will just pick a few winners at the end of the year for the prizes. It's just a very loose knit along, you know. I just want to encourage you to finish some whips that you had in your knitting project bags or crochet project bags in the corner, because it is bringing me a lot of joy to finish these old projects, and I'm sure it's gonna bring you some joy as well. And I feel like the more I finish of these old projects, the more I'm revisiting my stash, and I'm trying to see, okay, I actually bought this yarn with some project in mind. Maybe I should really go and revisit these projects that I really wanted to knit back then, because I spent my money on the yarn, so I should really use it as well and not just buy yarn all the time for the newest design. So this is it for this episode, I think. Apologies, I've been a little bit out of breath today. So I hope that was okay. And I will see you in the next episode, which will be a little bit of a different episode, because I'm going to show you the projects that I'm intending to knit over the next few months. So a little bit of my fall knitting plans. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you very much for watching. Keep on knitting, and I see you in the next one. Thank you, and bye-bye.